G'day, Cephalon Collective, and welcome to mini episode number 37. My name is Cephalon Greg. I'm joined by Cephalon Lucas. How you going?
Great. Fucking good. Doing good.
That's pretty damn good. Must be, I don't know,
Yep.
something must be in the water up in Ipswich Town. How's the weather?
Weather is fantastic. It is currently 19 degrees Celsius with a 65% humidity. A little bit of a nice breeze coming through, so I've got all my windows open right now, including, I should have closed that earlier, but oh well.
Hopefully there'll be no bears that jump in your window. Bears, Lucas.
Yeah. Yes, because
Bears.
that's what I have to worry about.
Drop bears. Anyway, so 19 degrees Celsius is 66 degrees Fahrenheit, and down here in Melbourne town, it's 14 degrees Celsius, 57 degrees Fahrenheit, 71% humidity. It's actually pretty comfortable inside the house, to be honest. My wife's probably had the heater on. Bloody bills, electricity and gas. Makes me think of bills. I'm such an adult now.
Such an adult.
Dadult. Anyway, such is life. So this is a mini. We don't go into the mega news, but there was some news that came out today, was it, or yesterday?
Yesterday.
In regards to the dev stream. And the next dev stream will not be this weekend. It will actually be on October 4th. And there was a post on Twitter that was shared today saying that they will be showing off the Vauban and Ember reworks. So that's quite interesting. That was unexpected. Amongst other things, and considering we're into the fourth quarter of the year, as per our last episode, I'm hoping that next dev stream's got some damn good stuff in it, because people will cry foul, I think.
Oh, yes.
So, we'll see.
Give us Grando.
Indeed. Or as frickin', did you see the Twitter?
Not even, don't touch it. Just don't touch it.
Let's just move on. It's so sad.
Yep.
Anyone that heard it will know. I'm hoping it's a joke. Anyway, who are we talking about today, Lucas?
Octavia!
Yes, the diva, the music frame.
The Bard.
Yeah, if you please. So good old Octavia joined early 2017 in Update 20. She is one of few frames that has their own quest, and strangely enough, it's called Octavia's Anthem.
Oh,
Not
who'd
so
have
strange.
guessed?
It's actually a really good quest. I quite enjoyed playing Octavia's Anthem. It's frustrating at times, but it's got some interesting lore, which is what I really enjoyed about that particular quest, and it's really original and different. So yeah, I recommend you give it a shot if you get a chance. Yeah, she's pretty damn good. She's a music frame, and the way that DE has employed music for Octavia is, to their credit, highly original. They've done a great job of integrating abilities that rely on music, and the way they've done it basically makes her a fairly must-have frame. There are frames that do what she does, so she's not necessarily must-have, but she's pretty damn good, so you may as well. Why not? Now, acquiring her, it can be a pain in the ass. So you get her main blueprint from Octavia's Anthem questline. One of her blueprints, I think it's systems, you get from Rotation A Caches in Lure Crossfire, Exterminate. And the other two are a bit of a pain in the ass. So one of them is, so the chassis drops from the Lure Music Puzzle, can't speak English. It's a guaranteed drop, which is great, but the music puzzle is not a guaranteed pop-up in Lure maps. So you need to find the damn thing. Then you need to figure out the puzzle. The puzzle's not too hard, and I do plan to write a bit of a article about how to do that, a guide, so to speak, but yeah, we'll see how that goes. The Neuroptics blueprint, on the other hand, is a reward from Rotation C of Orokin Derelict Survival. That means you need to stay for 15 minutes at minimum in order to have your first chance at a drop of the system blueprint. So it's a pain in the ass. It's not that hard, but it will take time, and those of us with shitty luck will not get it easily. Can you remember how easy it was for you, Lucas?
Pretty easy, actually.
I
didn't have any troubles.
From memory, I didn't have too much trouble with Octavia either, but I know of a lot of people that have, particularly with the Oregon Derelict survival component. But to be honest, she wasn't that hard to frame. She's only a minor pain in the ass compared to some of the others.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright, so let's head on into it, I think. So, how about discussing her passive?
Let's do it. All right, this is going to be a fun one. So, Octavia's passive is Harmonic Symphony, and well, it's both a complex and a simple kind of passive. So, let's start with the simple part. Inspiration. Casting an ability will inspire allies within 15 meters, giving them 1 energy per second energy regen for 30 seconds. Recasting any ability will refresh this duration. So that's a good one for just giving any allies a bit of extra energy regen.
Oh, yeah.
The second component of this passive is her Manticore. It's a special piece of equipment that is crafted as part of Octavia's Anthem quest. This is the source of all of her musical abilities, but also allows players to make their own, of course, never annoying, songs. So the Manticore, while not an ability itself, it can be accessed via Octavia's Appearance tab in the arsenal. You will notice a Manticore button in the bottom right corner of the screen. Clicking this will take you to the Manticore screen, which will allow players to create their own songs. Note there are 3 components that represent her abilities: percussion for the first, bass for the second, and melody for the third. And yes, this means that these components of the song will only play when this ability is employed in-game. Players are given 1 set of instruments for free, but can choose to buy other instruments using Platinum, which opens up capability to create a whole lot of different sounds.
Yes. So, long story short, casting abilities gives people energy. That's awesome. And she can make music. Indeed. There goes the unsing. Yep. All right, her first the unsing. Her first ability is called Mallet, and on casting, Octavia will throw a magical sphere in the direction of her aim. Where she magics this thing up from is anybody's guess, but this device will sit in one place, rhythmically playing percussion, beating into the ground in pulses for 20 seconds at max at base. So this actually attracts enemy aggro, storing damage dealt within the mallet, and dealing it back out at up to 2.5 times within a 10 meter radius, again max at base. Note that when this ability is cast with her second ability, which is called Resonator, and you'll learn about it in a second, it will become mobile instead of sitting in the place that it's cast. Further, it's also amplified by her Amp ability, her fourth ability, in which both its damage and range are doubled. Now, this ability is affected by ability duration, strength, and range mods. It does have an augment. This augment's called Partitioned Mallet, and it allows for 2 simultaneous mallets, each with a 50% reduced range, so you can lock down different areas of the map if that's your thing. Cool.
Cool.
Indeed.
Next up is Resonator, magically conjuring yet another rollerball from somewhere. Octavia throws this little fella out into the battlefield, where it rolls about playing bass for up to 20 seconds. Think of the Resonator as like a Pied Piper. Its soothing bass sounds calm enemies and entice them to follow the sweet little rollerball. The radius of this charming effect is initially up to 6 meters, but this expands with each enemy following up to a maximum of 15 meters. While in the charm radius, these silly enemies will receive up to 125 blast damage at base per beat, and as an awesome bonus, the Resonator will actively seek uncharmed enemies, and when the duration runs out, will leave charmed enemies staggered for a short period. You might recall the Resonator will pick up the mallet and carry it around when both are cast together. This increases the damage output and causes enemies to attack the mallet, which is of course one of the effects of the mallet. Resonator is also impacted by ability duration, strength, and range mods, and is the only other ability that currently has a augment, and this one is Conductor. Reactivate to command Resonator to move to aim point at 150% speed. So basically, look in a direction, recast, and your Resonator will roll to that area.
Yay. Maybe.
Yay.
Yeah, I think it was maybe a little bit dull, but that's, that's me. Cool. Anyway, Metronome is her third ability, and it's buff time. It's time to get buffed. On casting, Octavia starts up her melodies and pumps up the volume, creating an aura around her that buffs specific actions that are performed by herself or her allies. Many are aware of the invisibility buff, but there are actually 4 buffs, depending on the action performed. And yes, these can all be active at the same time. What's more, these buffs can be augmented by ability mods, which I wasn't aware of until I was researching for this. So the first one is called Vivace. Jumping in sync to the music will actually provide a movement speed increase of up to 30% for up to 15 seconds. The next is called Nocturne, and this one is the one that almost everybody knows. Crouching in sync to the music will grant 100% invisibility for up to 15 seconds. See a theme there? The third is called Opera, and firing weapons in sync to the music will apply a 30% multi-shot for up to 15 seconds. And the last one is called Forte. Performing melee attacks in sync to the music will provide up to 35% melee damage increase for, you guessed it, up to 15 seconds. God damn it.
Throw yourself off there.
Silly poopy head. Now, much like every single one of Octavia's abilities, it's impacted by duration, strength, and range mods, and duration and strength mods are the ones that affect the particular buffs. So keep that in mind.
Yes.
All right.
And finally, we have her amp ability. Like any good amp, this ability turns everything up to 11. On casting, Octavia throws out her amplification device, turning the battlefield into a nightclub. Literally. Whilst in the radius of the amp field, Octavia and her allies will receive a multiplier to the base damage of weapons, ranging from 0.25 times to 2 times for up to 30 seconds. Also doubling the range and damage of any mallet within the field. If recast, this will place a new amp field down, and Octavia can only have 1 active at a time. And again, as with every other ability, amp is influenced by ability duration, strength, and range mods.
Indeed. So really, the way to play Octavia is to have basically all 4 of her abilities running at any given time. Because they each work alongside of and buff each other, which is fantastic. Nothing wrong with that. So generally, when I start up with Octavia, I would put all of her abilities on, and then everything will just die in a circle around you, which is absolutely wonderful. She, as a result, she can hold down areas, so I like to use her for interceptions and defense missions. Yeah. That's pretty much how to use Octavia.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to add?
Well, if we're looking on duration-based, Octavia's passive Nocturne is the one ability in the game that has the longest possible duration for stealth. This is not including, what's her name? Archer.
Ivara?
That one. Ivara, yeah, that one. This is not including Ivara with her stealth ability, because that one's not based on duration. It's a channel ability. So I think with my build on Octavia, I get about 45 seconds worth of invisibility from Nocturne. About.
Bloody hell.
Whereas my max duration Loki only has like 36 seconds. So yeah, much better invisibility, and it can be refreshed, so you can probably get about 3 refreshes out of a single cast, possibly. It can last a hell of a lot longer.
Yeah, so depending on what kind of build you've got for her, you're probably only going to get maybe 30 seconds of all 4 of her abilities up at the same time, again, depending on the build. And they can be kind of energy hungry. But
very.
I would recommend building towards just having as high energy as you can and not worry too much about efficiency. Because if you've got a lot of strength and you've got a lot of energy, you can keep them going for, probably a couple of minutes before you run out of energy. And you're going to constantly kill enemies. and they're going to drop energy. So
Yeah.
I don't find Octavia to have too many issues with energy management, especially because her own passive
Passive
buffs
gives her more
herself.
energy.
It gives her energy.
Yep.
So really, you don't need to worry, in my opinion, too much about efficiency. Yeah, a bonus tip, because music can sometimes be annoying, some people will actually build Avara just to sound like to make the beat just as fast as possible, so that it's easy to crouch quickly and get ear invisibility.
Yeah.
So that can be really annoying. So you can actually go into your settings and turn off the sound of the Manticore, so you don't have to listen to it. But note it also, I'm pretty sure it also turns off your own.
Yeah, it turns off all mana chords.
Yeah, so it is helpful, but it is also, like, sometimes you'll forget that you've even got a song playing.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Overall, I think she's a very solid frame. She's really got high health and fucking armor. It took me a while to find the word. So if you build her for health and armor, she's I wouldn't say she's tanky, but she's got some good survivability.
Good survivability.
Yeah, plus her abilities just, I mean, all the enemies are dead before they get a chance to try and kill her.
Most enemies are dead.
Most, yeah. Yeah, you can, like I said before, she's pretty good for most things, not so much for spy missions. Well, I guess, like you said, she can be invisible for quite a while, so...
Yeah.
I don't really think anyone's going to complain if you choose Octavia for any particular mission or sortie or anything like that. She's pretty damn good.
Yep.
There's not much else to say.
Not really. I mean, I think when she first dropped, I think you were a part of this, Greg. A group of us decided to build Octavia with the Epic Sax Guy song for our Manda chords. And we managed to trap a single player in a 40-minute long survival where the whole time Epic Sax Guy was playing.
There was 3 of us playing Epic Sax Guy.
3 of us playing.
It
and
was
that one lonely player without it.
Yeah, it was
Stuck
pretty
for
funny.
45 minutes.
But he or she was actually pretty good about
Pretty
it.
chilled.
Yeah. They were laughing with us. As much as we were trying to be trolls. Damn it. But I'm sure they probably turned off their sound after a certain period of time, because I know I would have.
Probably.
So yeah, Octavia is really pretty damn powerful. In my opinion, she's a top tier frame. Yeah, not much else to say. I guess I don't use her as much as I potentially could, because she's not very active. Her abilities aren't very active. You just turn them on.
Yeah.
So
I think I use her every now and again when I wanted just a little bit of music added to my games, but apart from that, I never really use her anymore.
Yeah, which is strange, because she is really powerful, and even though she's not very active, she's also kind of fun. It's hard to explain. She's just fun because she dances, and she's just a little bit different and quirky, and that makes her kind of special. Do you have any favorite skins of hers? She does have the Diva skin.
Not really. I kind of like her bass.
Yeah,
I think
her bass is
especially with how I've the main song I've got playing is the Chocobo song from Final Fantasy. So I've got a bright yellow, and having that little little fleur of the little tuff at the top kind of makes her look like a Chocobo. So it's great.
Yeah, that works. I was gonna say she looks a bit like a rooster, but there you go. That Chocobo rooster. The thing I don't like about her main skin is the front of it makes her kind of look like she's got a beak.
Looks like a duck. Yeah.
Yeah, that's if it didn't have that, I'd like it more. It's just frustrating, and of course the design of the Manticore is pretty interesting. It's what you see sort of attached to her arms. which makes her look really sort of very, very different.
Yes.
And I think that's a cool design. So yeah, I think you should get out there and give Octavia a try and make some cool music. So I know you've got the Final Fantasy track. We had Epic Sax Guy. I actually, as much as it gets annoying after a while, I actually quite like the bass song that she's got.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything else that's been pretty awesome in your time?
I've seen a lot of really good ones. Basic Smoke on the Water.
Oh.
I've seen Doom, the Doom track. I've seen people do the Pokemon theme song. I've seen a lot of different ones.
Interesting.
It's great.
Very interesting. It's very useful, and I'm not. I don't have the patience for it. I'm not a musician. I'd love to sit down and try and make something one day, but I can't. I did try one day, but it escaped me. So it's good to copy.
Actually,
yeah,
there's one thing. Yeah, you can actually share your tracks with other players in the chat bar.
Yeah, you can. So you can actually save your songs and share them in the chat bar so that you can. And that's how we all got the same Epic Sax Guy song.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty damn cool. All right, so that's Octavia. I would say that she is someone you should be wanting to get. Not everyone likes her, of course. They should, though. I think she's pretty good. Yeah, I guess it's just one of those things where if you don't like overpowered frames, you don't like overpowered frames, and she is pretty damned overpowered.
Oh, yeah.
I think, personally, build her for a good balance across range, duration, and strength. I didn't get that out before, but that's the way I build her. Lucas, sounds like you build her for duration.
Yeah, mostly duration. Mostly, yeah. A little bit of range, a little bit of strength, but put most of the focus on duration.
Duration's pretty bloody important with her, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, next week we will be looking at Revenant, the frame that the sentient frame that came along with a little bit after the Plains of Eidolon. And because we do have someone in our Discord that is a massive, massive fan of Revenant. Thank you, my brain stopped mid-sentence. We'll probably have a special guest next week, so that will be interesting. Okay, so we'll end up episode 37, or mini episode 37 right there. And if you'd like to get in contact with us for any reason whatsoever, head on over to cephalonsquared.com where you can hit the contact us button, or you can shoot us an email at cephalonsquared@gmail.com. The website also has links to all of our, what do you call them? Social networks and communities, Discord, Facebook, all that kind of jazz. So I guess at this point I'd like to say thank you to our patrons.
Patrons, let's do it. You start, me start, who start?
I'll start. Thanks to Rathok.
Thank you, Jellybean1799.
Thank you, Wolfsbane.
Thank you, Einself1000.
Indeed. Thank you, Adop_88.
Thank you, Lord Freezon.
And thank you to Logan Neal.
Thank you, Danathan.
Thank you, Solarian.
And thank you, Obsolete Ninja 13.
Indeed. So these people have chosen to support us, to help us build upon what we've already built, and to help keep the machine running. So we can't thank you guys enough. We absolutely need support to keep things going. And we understand that not everybody can do it. So if it's not something that you can do, but you'd like to think of how you can support us, just spreading the word, giving us a rating on your podcast platform will help spread the word. Sharing us in Reddit or on Facebook in different groups, things like that, that will help spread the word and help us to grow. Otherwise, if you do want to throw us a bone, head on over to cephalonsquared.com/support, and you can look to help us. My name is Greg Newbegin. I am Mad Capsules pretty much all over the internet. Who are you, Lucas?
I am Lucas Silvestri, and I'm Silverlight all over the interwebs. SILVRLGHT. Massive thank you to our lovely, growing community. Can't get enough of you guys. You guys are awesome.
Indeed you are. Every single damn one of you. And thank you to Jan at disco_box on Twitter for the intro and outro. We did get a love letter to Disco Box this week, and I am looking forward to reading that one out on this week's podcast. You should be looking forward to hearing it. Anyway,
fun.
Thank you to you for listening to yet another mini episode. We are Cephalon Squared, and we'll be back in a couple of short days to bring you more Warframe. Bye.
Bye.